Megan Bamford, head acrobatics and tumbling coach. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. Going into year 1.5, 2 for you. Year 2 for the acro tumbling program here at King. You started midway through last year. How has, came in the middle of the season, so it was awful tumultuous last year. How has the summer and then the fall kind of helped you get more comfortable with the program and prepare the students here going forward for year 2?
Well, coming in, in the middle of the season was kind of tough, but it kind of gave me a chance to see where the girls kind of were at with the starting point, and then from there I just decided to kind of start fresh, start over, came up with workout programs for the girls, and just figured out what was going to be best for each athlete going into the season.
Yeah, there are many different ones in acro, that's for sure, many different types of athlete, I guess you could say.
Yep.
Last year kind of had a small roster, a dozen, maybe a few more, 10 to 15 players last year. This year you filled out the roster, got 11 newcomers, a whole lot of newcomers this year. How much is that going to help this year having a bigger roster?
Oh, it's going to make a huge difference. It'll definitely minimize the crossover deductions that we had to take last year within each event, so that means higher start values. It'll make life just a little bit easier for some of the other athletes. They won't have to compete back to back to back in every event. So.
Yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of a break in there for sure. With all the newcomers and then the returning players as well, how has everyone been coming together? And I'm sure they're kind of anxious to see some outside competition rather than just practice.
Yeah, they've done a great job at coming together. Over Christmas break, I think, is when they really started realizing that they were coming together more as a team. And when we came back after Christmas break, they kind of just hit the ground running. I know they're pretty anxious to get back out there. I think performing last week at the men's basketball game kind of helped get the jitters out, though.
Yeah, that usually helps the first time, especially for the new kids.
Definitely.
What are some things? Last year we had a couple good crowds here for the 2 home meets that we had in the Student Center. For the fans that have come out this year, what are some of the improvements, or what should they be looking for and be excited about to come out and see some acro and tumbling?
Last year we were always really strong in acro. I think we even gotten stronger in that aspect, and then we've also been able to bring up our scores in tumbling and got a lot more difficult tumbling passes this year, so that'll be fun to watch and something that the fans might not be ready to see.
Yeah, and acro is it's mainly a team sport. Most of the events in the heats. But are there any athletes that you've seen so far that have kind of caught your eye, maybe surprised you a little bit, that you're kind of excited to see them this year?
I feel like all my returners have definitely stepped up to the plate this year, and they've really worked hard at getting new skills. And then there's a couple athletes that are incoming freshmen that have done great, and you'll see them in a lot of events. Tasha Banks, she's one of our tops. She's been awesome. She's really great all-around athlete, as well as Maya Fuller and Lauren Reagan.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I mean, the tumblers and the tops kind of get a little bit more, I guess you could say, a little more publicity.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because of what they do. Schedule, let's go into the schedule a little bit. It starts with a couple of home meets and then on the road for the rest of the year. How nice is it going to be, especially for the new kids, to be able to compete at home in a familiar environment before having to go on the road?
I think having friends, family, and some familiar faces will make it more comfortable for them and easier to get the jitters out, so they'll be ready to go once we're on the road.
Yeah. As I mentioned, the home meets this year, Elderson brought us. Start out on Sunday afternoon. Yep. And then the other one is Baylor University. It's going to be fun having a big D1 school to come in here. What are you looking to learn from the first meet here this weekend that maybe you might want to improve after that?
I just want to see how the athletes are going to do when they are having to compete under pressure. Can they handle the pressure, which I definitely think they can do. But seeing that, and then just looking for consistency. So.
Yeah, consistency is always a big one, especially when you're getting scored on minute details. That's for sure. That's Sunday at 3 p.m. Correct?
Yes, correct.
Sunday at 3 p.m. Alderson brought us here in the Student Center. Come on out, see some acrobatics and tumbling. If you haven't been out here before, I'm sure it'll be a blast. Thanks for joining us, and good luck this year.
Thanks.